So then, as far as like making the call, like how to go with the contingency plan or not. So
It's the worst.
how do you decide?
It is literally my least favorite part of my job. You have to decide what's important to you. Are you going to be okay for instance, if your outdoor backup plan is either to get a tent or to be inside, and you decide, I'm not going to get the tent, I think it's going to work out. Are you going to be okay if wedding morning it rains and you now have to be inside in this backup area? Maybe yes. Maybe because like the backup area didn't really matter to you and you didn't want to spend the money on the tent. But if you're going to be like super upset about it, then you need to like know that going into it. So set those kind of expectations. It's all about like how you envision that day. And then think about like, if it starts raining, are you okay with guests? Like if you decide like, okay, we're just going to go with it and we're going to have the ceremony outside and it's drizzling. Are you okay with guests staying inside or leaving the ceremony to come inside? Because all of this stuff is going to happen. So, cocktail hour, are you okay with your guests coming inside to the reception early if you're having cocktail hour outside? So just think about like guests are not going to want to get wet. So like they're going to leave. Right. Not all of them. Your mom's going to probably stay seated. Probably.
Maybe.
But, just think about those kinds of things.
So if you don't want to risk it, how can you bring the outdoors inside?
Market lights.
Market lights, okay.
Lots of greenery chandeliers, greenery accents, tons of flowers. I mean, flowers and greenery just make you feel like it's outside. So anything like that, I think really helps.
Okay. So then when should I start checking the weather forecast?
No sooner than the Wednesday before your wedding, if you have a Saturday wedding. So what is that? 3 days before?
Yeah.
No sooner than the Wednesday before.
Right, because it's just a gamble at that point.
Yeah. No, I mean, okay, so if you need a tent, you usually have to make a decision before then.
Right.
But so I would say if you need a tent, then you're going to have to start checking probably 2 weeks ahead and make a decision. And make sure you at least have your deposit down on your tent. And then obviously you need to make a decision based on like when that decision is due. So your tent company might need to know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, at least if you're going to pay the final 50%. And then maybe they let you make the decision Thursday, Friday of when the tent goes up. So not too early so that you're not like freaking yourself out.
Right.
But make sure you know like what your deadline is to make a backup call.
So you think you should reserve a tent then? If you're outside.
Unless you have an awesome
backup plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you kind of have to. It's kind of part of being outside, unfortunately. I don't think you have to for cocktail hour.
Okay.
But for your ceremony, if you're envisioning it one particular way, I think it can be kind of disappointing to then like the morning of be like completely opposite of what you've planned for a year.
So staying on that, when do you have to make that decision? You said 3 days?
The tent?
On the tent, yeah, because like let's say it's Thursday. It looks like it's going to pour, but we have the tent, and then now it's not, and we're at a really beautiful, garden. I mean, how late are they putting these things up, taking them down? So
with tents, the best decision is to put your at least, typically it's a 50% deposit that reserves the tent for your wedding. At least go ahead and put that down prior to, maybe months in advance, like when you sign, or at least, a couple months in advance. If you're getting married during a super busy time, then definitely early, because you don't want tents to be gone in your area. Typically about a week out, you have to decide whether you're going to pay the final 50% or you're going to release the tent. This all depends on your rental contract. So make sure if you are getting a tent, you talk to your rental company. And then typically you have to decide whether you want the tent to go up Thursday, maybe Friday at the latest. So you kind of just have to make that decision, best case scenario.